See if it actually works. Can you hear me? Am I roboting?
Nope, you sound perfect.
Sound good?
Okay. Well, if you're hearing this, and I don't know if you are yet, we're back, conceivably. I don't know what happened there, guys. Wonderful world of live TV was either YouTube or OBS or my internet or a combination of the three. Currently, YouTube's telling me that my stream status is bad, so I don't even know if you can hear me. You guys have to let me know.
Looks good. Where I just had it open as I was getting the chat. It looked and sounded good.
Okay. We can hear you. You have 2 streams up. We're back. Okay. Well, if you guys can hear me, I'm going to operate on that despite what YouTube's telling me. If everything starts dying again, go ahead and press F and let me know. WTF happened? I have no idea, guys. I didn't get a notice that OBS died. I just got a... the stream itself started cycling on me as I was watching it because I have the sound off on the tab, but I'm watching it for the chat and everything. And I just saw it cycling like it was trying to load or buffer. And I knew something was wrong. I checked OBS. For some reason, it was in the red saying it wasn't broadcasting, and I don't know why. So if it happens again, don't know. But you guys let me know. Apologize for that, as I have done several times now. So anyway, I lost my stories because I had to reboot everything as quick as I could. We were talking about... What were we talking about? Was it the... No, it wasn't that lady. It was the lynching comment. That's what it was.
Lynching, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's... Everybody can find a reason to find a particular word offensive, I suppose. I mean, offenses taken, never given. If you take it in a literal definition as in an extrajudicial attack on someone without due process, if that's what Trump was meaning, which I assume he was given all the other comments, sure. But I don't know. At this point, I don't think Trump cares whether or not anything he says is going to be controversial or get people pissed off.
Well, yeah. And that article, like I said, that was written in 2015.
I lost the article. You're going to have to post it again because I don't even know what it was.
It just says Benghazi hearing the high-tech lynching of Hillary Clinton. It was written by Sophie A. Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and, nobody had an issue. And just like the other times I've heard the word uttered in politics, it wasn't an issue. It was just like, yeah, we know what they mean. It's a figure of speech. They're trying to, or just a what's the word I'm looking for? I was about to say analogy, but no, like, what word I'm thinking.
Metaphor?
Metaphor, yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, that's obviously where it's going. But once again, whoever said it back then wasn't Trump when they said it. So that changes everything.
Guys, in the chat, I just tweeted out the link to the stream. So if you'd be so kind as to share it or tweet it or whatever else. And again, guys, apologies. I'm completely beyond my control. I hate it when that happens, and I apologize for the inconvenience. We will carry on as the show must go on, as they say. Any other thoughts on that one before I get into the last one here?
Nothing that comes to mind now.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to skip that story because we are already into MSS news time. So, everyone, if you have news stories you would like us to read on the air, granted that YouTube or OBS or the internet gods will allow me to do so, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise to get to them all, but that's because apparently the gods of streaming connections are not with me today, or at least so far. Let's see. Devil Fruit Zero says, Scribe Light, I would like Bear to come in and say, how dare you use the word substantive? Have I used substantive today? I usually do, because almost like a nervous twitch now. If I ever use the word substantive, I under my breath I say after that, irate bear. I actually did it at work once. I'm not even kidding. I think it was last week. I was in a meeting. And I forget what I was talking about, but I used the word substantive. And I muttered under my breath, irate bear. I kept going. It was in the middle of a sentence. But by the time I finished whatever I was saying, I was looking around to see if anybody was giving me odd looks for having said something that made absolutely no sense. Nobody did. So I guess I was just covert or subliminal about it. I'm an oddball. What can I tell you? So anyway, MSS News. This one comes from Frosted Glass. It's the root. Oh, no. Anti-LGBTQ discrimination is a civil rights issue. Yes. Why black people need to get behind Title VII.
What?
Okay. Today, the Supreme Court... Wait, when is today? Because these stories... Okay, this came out today. Okay. Today, the Supreme Court of the United States is hearing arguments around a case that could transform how businesses across the country handle anti-LGBTQ discrimination. Are we talking about adding orientation or gender identity to the existing law?
Probably.
Or how people have sort of extrapolated the text of the law so far that says sex to include things like orientation? Okay. Anyone who purports to care about the black community should be concerned about efforts to ensure equal protection under the law to black LGBTQ plus people. It's not just about race. It's not
just the black ones.
Yeah. Why? Okay. Including efforts to question the application of Title VII to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Question the application of What? Why? Because neither the black community nor the LGBTQ same gender loving community is a monolith? What? Okay, and I know I'm going out on a limb here, but under the law, you are, because that is all that is needed to afford you the same rights as everybody else under the law. You simply need to be a citizen of the United States. The specificity of the law, yes, does not currently say gender identity or sexual orientation. It has been the word sex, as far as what you're not allowed to discriminate by, has been extrapolated to include those things involved with sex or gender and that kind of thing. And I agree, sure, amend the law, update the law with language that makes it more explicit since things have changed since it was originally written. But yeah, I mean, if you are a person in the United States who is a citizen or otherwise, you are a monolith in the sense that you're a resident of the United States. If it says you cannot be discriminated on the basis of your gender, then whatever gender you are is a monolith under the law and cannot be discriminated against.
Yeah, but there needs to be extra special treatments for certain people.
I don't understand why you have to... It has nothing to do with race. If you are gay, let's say, you are protected, or that is what the hope is under the law. It doesn't matter what you look like. If you are, whatever. Why do people do that? Why do they try to, like... I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like I have a syntax error in my brain with that stuff.
It makes perfect sense to me. The reason is because keeping it straightforward and definitive like that means that the problem can be solved. Like there's an end there. Like if you do this, it'll solve our problems. But that's not what they want. They don't want the problem solved. They want special treatment. And treating them like everybody else is not enough. That's not enough. They don't want to just be treated like everybody else. They want to be treated better than everyone else. So that's why it's not enough. They have to extend it out and make it more because they this is unattainable. We can still complain. We'll still get equal rights as everybody else, but we can keep our oppression label because equal is not enough. It's the perfect strategy.
Dangerous Spaces correctly quotes Animal Farm. He says all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, the root is just the root of nonsense. I wonder if the root's going to go the same way as Splinter sooner or later, just with the way that whole network of blogs operates. This one comes from Quinn Harrison. North Carolina joins multi-state investigation into Facebook's business practices.
Ooh.
Okay. Raleigh, North Carolina. North Carolina's Attorney General is helping lead an investigation into Facebook's business practices along with 47 other states. Well, you've almost got a whole unanimous consent on this one. Attorney General Josh Stein made the announcement Tuesday, where he said the investigation will be spearheaded by Attorneys General Letitia James of New York Phil Weiser of Colorado, Ashley Moody of Florida, Tom Miller of Iowa, Doug Peterson of Nebraska, David Yost of Ohio, Herbert Slattery of Tennessee, and Carl Racine of Washington, D.C. That's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Stein said the coalition will look at whether Facebook's actions violate antitrust laws and harm consumers. Stein released the following statement, quote, "I'm increasingly concerned about the way the internet has come to be dominated by a few major tech companies. When companies in any industry get too big and too powerful, they can use that power to harm their consumers and to damage markets. We need to protect competition in markets so that consumers benefit from choices, their privacy is protected," whatever, "and the next generation of tech innovators aren't snuffed out by big, powerful companies," unquote. Okay, well, your privacy is not protected. Let's just be honest now. If you have yourself registered with any company anywhere for a database of healthcare, bank, shopping, whatever, it's all vulnerable. All it takes is one person to break in, or one person to give up their password, or use password as their password, and then you're done. But that's beside the point. The monopoly thing, not going to argue. That is a concern. Facebook, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, these guys should be questioned from time to time on whether or not they're operating in a fair way. And certainly with the number of scandals and mismanagement decisions and everything that Facebook has done in the last 5 years alone, I don't think that they are above suspicion with how they operate.
Yeah. Sure,
they've kind of asked for it, haven't they?
Yeah, just a little bit with their robot master, Zuckerbot.
Don't you mean Lizard Master?
Lizard. Oh, is he a lizard now? I thought he was a robot. An android.
A robot lizard.
We have the return of senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Haven't said that in a while. Disgusting pig plane passenger caught drying socks by hanging them from window.
Oh.
The anonymous man wedged his socks in the window shutter of the plane to dry them off. And there's a picture of this. I will put the link in the chat, granted that it's not too gigantic of a...
That's nasty.
Yeah.
That's real nasty.
Sitting near young children on a long flight can be a passenger's worst nightmare, but it appears some adults can't be trusted to fly unsupervised. If you know the woman who dried her knickers using the overhead air vent, or this passenger who used their feet to navigate the onboard touchscreen entertainment system, please come and collect them immediately. And there's links to those two stories in the chat or in the article. It's not difficult. Get on, sit down, wait, and don't do something so bizarre or gross that other passengers feel compelled to post it on social media. Unfortunately, that seems to be a real struggle for a worrying number of actual grown-ups. A passenger on a recent flight horrified his fellow travelers by using the journey as an opportunity to dry his socks by hanging them on the shutter of the plane window. A photo of the anonymous man was posted by someone sitting close by and shared to the passenger shaming Instagram account's 1 million followers. Passenger shaming? Oh boy. The image, which has more than 5,000 likes and 160 comments, carries the sarcastic caption, "Me doing my laundry on the way to LA this weekend. Hashtag multitasking." Okay. Well, there you go. Not what I would do, but I guess people can do it. Is it against the rules of a plane to do that?
Why do you need to dry his socks?
Maybe he's got sweaty feet.
Oh God, that makes it worse.
And maybe he's like really nervous flying, and his feet get all sweaty, and he's like trying to air them out before he gets to land.
Yeah,
I can smell this story.
I smell a story here. Let's see. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Oh, I haven't heard this name in a while. Laura Loomer raised $154,000 during the third quarter for a campaign versus Lois Frankel. Who's Lois Frankel? The story's a few days old, but it's all right. Republican congressional candidate and right-wing rabble... Wait, she's running for office?
Yes.
I had no idea. Okay, rabble-rouser Laura Loomer says she has raised $154,000 for her run in Florida's 21st Congressional District, only in Florida. Loomer kicked off her campaign to challenge incumbent Democrat U.S. Representative Lois Frankel in August. The third quarter reports, due to the FEC Tuesday, detail financial activity through September 30th. That means Loomer raised that money in little under 2 months. That makes what was always an uphill battle for Loomer appear even more challenging. By comparison, fellow Republican Maria Elvira Salazar raised $500,000 for her campaign in Florida's 27th Congressional District. Salazar announced her run just 3 days before Loomer. When I read that, I was like, that sounds like a lot of money, $154,000. Apparently, that's not enough. What does that tell you about how our politics work these days?
Well, how much did Hillary spend on her campaign?
According to the book behind the scenes on the whole thing called Shattered, which is a really interesting book, not enough, because her campaign finance person or whatever was very, very stringent with how much they were spending on signs and ads and everything else, because they figured they didn't need to spend as much in states that they already had, quote unquote. So their war chest wasn't spent as much as you might think.
It wasn't like over $1 billion raised for that shit?
Something like that. It was a lot of money, but they were... she's probably still got most of it hidden away somewhere. Because, you know...
To this day, she's still confused at what she lost.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think you can find a audio book version of it relatively easily now, if you look on certain video streaming sites. But yeah, it's called Shattered, and it's a behind-the-scenes expose, let's say, of the Clinton campaign. I mean, it's exceedingly thorough and detailed. I mean, they talked to people who were there. They made sure it was all anonymous, so everybody could say what they wanted to say, and they line it all up, and how she just... Yeah, the campaign just fucked itself. It's actually amazing. And even with a book like that out, that gets down to the granular details of what went wrong and the decisions that were made that were presumptuous and, fueled by hubris rather than smarts. Apparently they still don't understand how they lost to Donald Trump. So, what are you going to do? This one comes from Pincalo the Driving Ape Man. Let's see. Okay, can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, because I'm getting all paranoid now. Anti-Semitic thugs use sledgehammers to smash 100-year-old gravestones at historic synagogue on night of Jewish New Year. Oh, wow. For fuck's sake.
That's the next level disgusting right there.
I'll put the link in the chat. There's pictures, but Jesus Christ. Let's see. Thugs use sledgehammers to smash up gravestones dating back more than a century at a Jewish cemetery in a suspected anti-Semitic attack. Headstones were upended, split, and laying in tatters, with a lone Star of David left in the gravel. Excuse me. At Chatham Memorial Synagogue Cemetery in Rochester, Kent. I'm going to cough 1 second.
This cough break brought to you by Halls.
Yeah, sorry about that. I have water here, but apparently it's not enough. Community members believe the intruders entered the cemetery through a garden path on the night of the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, on September 30th. So how old is this story? No, it's from today. Okay, just reporting it now. Oh, it's one of those stories where they have like gigantic photos but not much actual text. The thugs are thought to have used heavy-duty tools to tear down a large metal gate, even though it was already open at the cemetery at the Grade 2 listed synagogue. Grade 2 listed. I don't know what that means. The horrified community found the cemetery decimated a week later, just an hour before the start of Yom Kippur on October 8th. Nobody looked at the cemetery in a week?
I mean, it's a cemetery.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's next to a synagogue. I would have thought that, that next Sunday someone would have seen something.
I don't know. Maybe.
Let's see. Yeah, no, that's... That is a brutally senseless. I don't know. I hope they catch him. I mean, I hope there's some cameras
Depending on
or
how
something.
cynical you are, I don't think you're in the mindset. I wonder if somebody smashed up the cemetery today.
Yeah, I guess, but it just seems kind of odd to me. I was like, let's see. We have a birth. I knew we had a birthday request before the stream died. Let's see. Dr. D116, am I saying that right? Would like a birthday song for his mom, Kelly. She is a new watcher. So she likes to watch, you say?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Monkey.
Kelly, is it? Kelly, as a new watcher, this is something you should get used to because around here for birthdays, we do this. And this one's for you. And a 1. And a 2. Happy birthday to you.
You stick around after this, then you are official.
Happy birthday to you.
Just make it to the end. We're almost there.
Happy birthday, dear Kelly. How tall are you?
Just one more incision here, and we're just about done.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Kelly. I hope you had a great one, and welcome to the show.
Yay!
You survived.
And now they're no longer a listener, exactly.
And now she's gone.
Let's see. Who's next? How much time we got? We'll do a couple more here. Okay. I'm not going to... Shrouded Angel sent us a story that's gross and scary, and I don't really want to read that. It's not that I'm above that or like I have a weak stomach or something. It's just like, there's some stories I'd rather not read, even if they are things that really happen, because it's like, yuck. But we'll go to something that's still kind of odd from Shrouded Angel, because why not? Today, Shrouded Angel apparently just liked stories about people having their skin removed for different reasons.
Ew.
Yeah, well, this is the tamer of the two. You can now ask to keep the tattoos and skin of a loved one when they die.
Why?
A mortician is offering to turn tattoos into wall hangings for families after a loved one has passed.
No.
Tattoos can be very meaningful and hold a lot of sentimental value to both the owner and their loved ones. Over the course of a lifetime, some people can spend thousands inking their bodies, and one mortician is now offering a controversial service to turn tattoos into fine art. Michael Sherwood from Cleveland, Ohio, gives grieving families the option after a death of keeping the tattooed skin as parchment-like artwork they can hang in their homes in remembrance. It all started a few years ago when Michael and his son Kyle were having a few drinks with their friends, why am I not surprised, and they got onto the topic of how much tattoos mean to people. Being the go-to guys for death-related questions, one of Michael's friends told him he would like his tattoo preserved when he passes. The dad and son team laughed it off at first, but when their friend pushed his idea, they began to give it real consideration. Quote, "With the art and tattoos and how much they mean to people, why not keep them after they die?" said Kyle. People put ashes in urns on mantles and visit stones with their loved ones' names on them. Why not keep their tattoos as a memorial? From bar banter chat over a beer, the Save My Ink Forever service was born.
Look, we live in a capitalist society, and I'm sure somebody's going to fucking utilize it. But
sure.
Yeah, that's weird. It also reminds me, once again, because Squishy Ass always making me watch these weird-ass fucking movies on Netflix. There was this little movie in this series of little short movies where this dude was going around finding people, murdering them, and then cutting chunks of his skin off and, like, sewing the tattoos from their body onto him.
What? That sounds like supervillain shit right there.
It was fucking disgusting. And like, the story, it was going in this direction where they were just like, oh, this dude's crazy, he's doing this thing or whatever. But in reality, like, the skin that he was sewing onto him was actually destroying the other skin cells on his body.
Yeah.
So he was, like, killing himself.
Yeah.
And it was, oh man, it was fucked. It ended very, very horribly.
Well, I'm I mean, justice is where you find it, I suppose. But yeah, you're effectively doing a skin graft from a non-compatible donor at that point.
Yeah, it was.
Ugh, God. Okay. One more before we get to YouTube time. This one's been going around quite a bit. It's an update to something that I believe we talked about maybe a month or two ago, but several people sent this to us, but this one comes from Rebecca Fairley, or Fairley Rebecca, sorry. Jury rules against dad trying to save his 7-year-old from gender transition. Yeah. Dallas, Texas. A jury in Dallas has ruled against Jeffrey Younger, the father who is trying to protect his 7-year-old son, James, from chemical castration via a gender quote-unquote transition. This means James's mother, Dr. Ann Georgulus, or Georgulus, I don't know how to say that, will be able to continue quote-unquote transitioning him into Luna, and now has full authority to start him on puberty blockers and eventually cross-sex hormones. The jury's decision likely means that Mr. Younger will be required to affirm James as a girl despite his religious and moral objections, and will also be forced to take a class on transgenderism. With a consensus of 11 of the 12 jurors, the jury decided not to grant Mr. Younger sole managing conservatorship over his 2 twin boys. They voted that the current joint managing conservatorship should be replaced by a sole managing conservatorship, but that Mr. Younger should not be that person. Judge Kim Cooks will read her ruling on possession, child support, and Dr. Georgulus's other requests at 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Mr. Younger and Dr. Georgulus were in court last week fighting over custody and decision-making abilities for James and his twin, Jude. Mr. Younger argues his ex-wife is transitioning James against the boy's will. Dr. Georgulus, who brought the lawsuit, was asking Mr. Younger's possession schedule be altered to decrease overnight stays and to force his visits with the boys to be supervised. Dr. Georgulus brought the original modification suit to the court and did not request a jury trial. Mr. Younger, in his counter-petition, asked for a jury trial. Since Mr. Younger requested the jury trial, the jury ruled on his specific request for sole managing conservatorship, and the judge ruled on all other aspects of the petition as brought by Dr. Georgulus. She was also asking that Jeff be forbidden from calling his son James, his given and legal name, and that he be prohibited from bringing James around people who do not affirm James as a girl. Mr. Younger was asking to be granted... Yeah, we talked about that. Real quick. According to the Mayo Clinic, possible side effects of feminizing cross-sex hormone therapy are a blood clot in a deep vein, high triglycerides, a type of fat in your blood, gallstones, weight gain, elevated liver function, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, infertility, high potassium, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and excessive prolactin in the blood, or a condition in which non-cancerous tumors of the pituitary gland in the brain overproduces the hormone prolactin. Okay. Thank you, Joel McLaughlin. Right. What a psycho hose beast. Yeah, and Pinkal the driver, thank you. This story is rage-inducing. I honestly do not understand how 11 of 12, I guess it doesn't need unanimous consent in this case, but 11 of 12 jurors decided that the healthy thing for this, 9-year-old or whatever he is to be put in the custody of someone who wants to chemically castrate him before he reaches puberty.
Yeah, I didn't even consider this as a possibility. But this sounds dangerously like she's doing this to her kid to like against her husband.
Despite him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adabisi. What kind of doctor is the mother? That was my first question. As I've learned from so many TEDx talks, when somebody comes out on the stage and they have the moniker of doctor in front of their name, my first question reflexively always is, doctor of what? I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can find out, but yeah, I fear for this child 10 years from now. Or, well, maybe even shorter, but by the time that the kid actually grows up and starts figuring things out for himself. I don't know. Because one of the earliest situations where you had twin boys. So this was on one of Mr. Mediker's, or I should say at the time at least, it was Internet Aristocrats videos regarding cisgender. That term came from a doctor named, I think his name was William Money, I think it was. And what had happened was there were these two twin boys, and in the course of, well, what am I thinking of? Circumcising one of the two boys, the doctor doing it at the time fucked up and burned the kid's penis off. And so consequently, the parents and the doctor convinced the parents to raise the child as a girl, and started doing a whole bunch of things to help, facilitate this boy into a girl. And so this kid, and I think I remember the last name was Reimer. I don't remember the kid's first name. But anyway, so you had two boys, one raised as a girl, and as the mutilated child grew up, the whole process of being a girl when he wasn't a girl, and then wanting to not be a girl anymore by the time he was of age, the guy eventually killed himself, over several different things. And when I look at this situation, I just think of that situation. I think, so you got twin boys, one is being essentially guided into chemical castration before they've reached puberty. For what benefit? For what good? Why not let the kid grow up to maturity and decide for himself? We don't convict kids that young of adult crimes. Why would you allow a parent to say that kid is wise enough to make such a life-altering decision before they've reached cognitive age? I don't get it. I don't get why that jury decided that was the smart thing to do. I don't understand.
You're not woke enough to understand.
Yeah.
I'm obviously sleeping, or having a nightmare, one of the two. But
you got to be woke as fuck to understand why it's okay to late. Remember, we live in the age where kids are the smartest beings on the planet, man. They know what they need to do.
Yeah, the wisdom of 9-year-olds. Actually, I did
They are smarter than we will ever be.
One of my TEDx talks, I believe I named it "The Wisdom of 9-Year-Olds" because it was a story about the same thing, where a second grader or something declared that they were a girl, and then their parents went nuts and did everything they could to make their son a girl and all this other stuff. And it's just, yeah, well, if you give a little kid praise for something, they are going to do whatever they need to make their parents happy and to love them more. It's not the kid necessarily affirming it so much as the kid seeking affection and your approval.
Not only that, there's no way they can fully grasp the ramifications.
No.
Exactly what this means. This is forever, dude. This ain't something you can change your mind about later.
Yeah. I mean, if a 9-year-old does not have enough wherewithal to sign a binding contract, if you need a parental guardian to do that for you, that's operating on your behalf, how can you have a 9-year-old affirm to anybody that they know what they're doing, what they're asking for, and what's going to go through it? I fear for this kid's long-term mental health, physical health. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, guys, with that as our ending piece of MSS News, we'll move on to YouTube time. Thank you guys for all the stories. Appreciate it. But on to YouTube time. My YouTube efforts today were completely making up the 3 themes for the show that you see cycling through on your screen. It took me a while. It's always a matter of finding the right font, either the font that is correct for the subject matter or just coming up with a new idea. I really like the Moonbaser one. I was like, I haven't done a James Bond one in a while. How would we do that? And so I turned Monkey into Jaws, and way in the back you can see Satsu as the supervillain up there giving commands. But the Blade one I think is probably the coolest. I think that's probably the coolest. I like that one. Otherwise, I've got a couple of videos I'm looking at, maybe doing something on. Don't want to, say anything for certain because maybe I won't. But there is a new video I have created over on my BitChute channel. I did put a link to that in the first stream in the description. I don't think it's in this one because I had to rush to get this one cooked up. But if you go over to BitChute and look up Scribe, you will probably find my channel without too much trouble. As far as I know, I'm the only one with that name over there. And I put that video on there primarily because I was concerned that because it used footage from both CBS and The Daily Show, that if I loaded it onto YouTube, it might get me a copyright strike because, like I recall in the past, CBS and Viacom have been very stringent with having the algorithm zap people for using their stuff, even if it is fair use. So rather than take that risk, I decided for the time being at least to make it a BitChute exclusive. If I feel confident in the future that maybe that won't happen, maybe I'll upload it onto the regular channel, but for the time being, that's where you can find it. But that's about it. Satsu, what do you got? Oh, sorry, real quick. Thank you, Sanguine. They can't glue you back together once the snip and invasion happens, but in time there will be designer genitals, so there might one day be a way. So far, nothing in that story mentioned the actual surgery to change the child's anatomy, but all the chemicals and everything else going in there, at the very least, are going to alter the development, the healthy development of everything down below, amongst other things. So, yeah, I don't know. The whole thing just... This is just not the night. Okay, now it says it's back up again. Chat, let me know. Are we doing this again? It seems to be going in and out. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, I'll give it another few seconds here to see if it comes back up for everybody, but this is just not my night, guys. I don't know what's going on. I've touched nothing on OBS. I haven't done anything. Everything is as it was when I started this thing, and it's just glitching on me for some reason. You're good. You're up. You're good. It's back now. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I knew what was going on that I could fix it, but like I say, I haven't I haven't touched any of my settings since last week or anything else. So we will.
Really unreliable. I'm sorry.
Sorry?
I said OBS is unfortunately kind of unpredictable.
Yeah, I'm... given this situation and given the times that it's kind of cut out in the middle of the show before, I am inclined to just switch over to StreamYards for the long term. Although I really do, like making these themes and everything for showing off. That's really the only reason I use OBS at this stage of the game. From now on, I might just go to StreamYards because it seems to be more stable. Because OBS is not fun. Anyway, sorry guys. Back to where we were. Satsu, what have you been up to?
Well, I got a steak and potatoes video coming out for you guys over on the cooking channel. And that is pretty much edited to completion. I just need to finish the voiceover, and I'll be done with that. I couldn't finish it today because I was chilling with the little one all day, and Squishy came home, and she's like, spend time with me. And I'm like, okay. So I did that, and I was going to try to get it done right before the stream, and she's like, nope, I got you until the stream starts. And I'm like, okay. So that didn't happen. I've been trying to upload this video for a whole week, and I just can't seem to get it done. But should be up tomorrow if all goes well. And I haven't had enough time to really work on anything else, honestly. So outside of that, game streams. Monkey, did you want to stream tonight?
Oh, no, not tonight, bud.
Okay. I figured I'd ask because she asked me earlier. I'm like, I'll ask and see what's going on. But all right, so no game stream tonight, guys. But we'll be back on Friday to stream, or Thursday, depending on how Monkey feels Thursday. We'll see. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right, thank you, Sanguine. That is the problem. You need at least like 400% more chuching. Yes, the chuching. I like it when we accidentally come up with new verbal memes or otherwise on the show out of mistakes. That's always fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, or how, how about Chutched by an Angel? Or what's another good one? Chutch Me.
Touch my body.
There you go, Touch My Body. Yeah, I'm sure more will be oncoming now that I've started that ball rolling. Monkey, what have you been up to?
Oh, did a short Monkey in the Morning after weird circumstances forced me to go to the store. And so my timing got all screwy, and did one, I think I went live at 5:15ish, and we went for just about an hour or so. But then I came over here, and that's all I've been doing.
Can't touch us.
Can't touch it. Touch us. Do. Oh, and Chat Mort's in the chat. Chat Mort's in the chat. Hi, Chat Mort. If you guys haven't checked out Chat Mort's channel, you should do that when you get a chance. All right. Well, then on to the wonderful world of Fuggatry. I have been reminded once or twice that Mashishu tweeted something that I'm to pay attention to. I don't know. I can't remember how long ago that was. I will look briefly to see if I can find it in a reasonable amount of time. Lauren Chen, Roaming Millennial, said something today, I guess. She tweeted this. People are posting flyers calling political Kathy, I don't know who that is, a white supremacist and dangerous because they want her targeted. This isn't anti-racism activism or whatever these cowards try to spin it as. It's who's political Kathy?
The Asian chick who was
Asian
wearing.
chick.
Oh, Kathy Xu, right? Okay. Let's see. The flyer says it has a picture of Kathy who's wearing a MAGA hat, and it says, "Michigan, we have white supremacists on campus. They can be dangerous. We have to protect our students of color."
Yeah, we have a white supremacist on campus. They can be dangerous. It's like just a heads up. Like, oh, okay.
Ah, okay. Well, there you go. Let's see. Other than that, what did I have today? I know I had some stuff. I said some things. So the ads for get your tickets for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker early, everything else. And I said, I am quite sad to say that for the first time since the Star Wars Special Edition films came to theaters in the 90s, I am not planning on seeing a Star Wars movie on opening day. That's just the tiniest hint as to how much my enthusiasm for the franchise has withered since The Force Awakens. And it's absolutely true. The Special Edition films, opening day, every time. When the prequels came out, opening day, every time. When The Force Awakens and Last Jedi came out, opening day. I didn't buy my tickets for this one. You know, at any other point in history, I would have been on the internet refreshing that page until the thing went live and gotten my tickets lickety-split for myself and my sister. That's what I've done the last couple of movies. I get 2 tickets, one for me and my sister, and we go to see it. Not even close to wanting to do that. And I don't count, I mean, I did see Rogue One opening day, but I don't count the spin-off movies as real Star Wars movies, you know? Because it's just kind of like, And I didn't go see Solo. I don't really care. I did go see Rogue One opening day because I didn't know any better. But and it was blah, whatever. Except for that last 5 minutes or so. But yeah, no, I don't care so much. And that trailer did absolutely nothing to change my mind. Just absolutely nothing, which is I'm not happy about it. But anyway, what else do we have? I had something else. Oh yeah, Harry Enton, my other favorite friend at CNN, who is an expert at forecasting political outcomes because he was totally like, Hillary's got this in the bag in 2016. He did make a good point today. He says, I'll have more on this later this week, but Biden's monthly average lead over Trump has never been less than 6 or greater than 10 this entire year. It's so steady, just like Trump's approval rating, voters look really locked in. And I said, let us remember this idea that most voters, regardless of aisle positioning, are already set on a course long before an election. This readily calls into question the hype and paranoia over what effect, if any, foreign social media campaigns actually have on the electorate. Because, like I said, way back when 2016, there were surveys done in January of 2016 and then in September, and the numbers hadn't changed much at all. Before all the Russian bots and everything else, or before the Comey stuff, people already knew who they were going to vote for, which side they were going to fall on. I have yet to see anybody tell me definitively that, votes were actually altered or swayed by Russian interference in some way, shape, or form. Let's see, what else? Polydub hit 1,000 subscribers on his channel. Yay!
Yay! Congrats.
Let's see, was there something else? I thought I had another smart aleck thing that I said today. Terminator Dark Fate Early Buzz. It's the Force Awakens of the Terminator franchise. And so I said, it's a derivative and faulty Mary Sue machine. Got it. And I think that is... if you can, go watch Tulsi Gabbard's little campaign ad talking directly to Hillary Clinton. It's something. It is something. It's I don't think it's going to get her any higher in the polls than she already is, but given the circumstances, it is something to watch.
You think we can instigate a Hillary versus Tulsi kickboxing match?
Yeah. Well, maybe Robot Chicken will do something like it, but yeah. Remember what was it? What was that show on MTV? Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah, that was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch. If they could bring that back, that'd probably be a good matchup for that.
I swear I thought I saw something that said that show should have been coming back.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Let's see. This just came from the Washington Post. Wow. Okay, the Washington Post just posted this story. Headline: At least 5 House Democrats called Bill Clinton's impeachment a lynching in 1998. Wow, Washington
really?
Post. Wow, Washington Post being fair and balanced of a kind. Sort of. Not that I give a shit one way or the other. If you want to describe it as something, I mean, again, extrajudicial vigilante action. That it's associated with a particular time and place and everything else. Non-black people have been lynched. The term does not inherently mean just the crimes against African Americans. But regardless, there you go.
That's right.
I know.
It belongs to them. Just like every reference to a monkey is about black people. Like, no matter what the reference is, it's about black people.
Apparently so. And Kami the Communist retweeted, I guess, the story that you had, Satsu. It's the headline is "The High-Tech Lynching of Hillary Clinton."
Yep.
From 2015. This was a tweet from CNN at the time.
Yes, and it was about Hillary.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right, so that's all my fucketry. Satsu, what do you got?
Well, that was definitely one of them.
Okay.
That whole little situation there. There was also and I don't know if I can, maybe I shouldn't classify this as fucketry because this is actually something that I agreed with, but it did stir up some people over on Facebook. So it was a post about friend zoning, and I know we haven't talked about friend zoning in a while, but it was actually advocating for an argument that I don't often hear advocated for. And that was, if a chick friend zones a dude for whatever reason, even if you don't like to use that term, let's just say we're going to use that term just to keep things simple. Or if a chick denies you a relationship, let's just say, it is not the dude's obligation to stay friends with you.
No, but it might speak to something of a shallowness on the friend's part, I suppose.
Well, I guess that depends, because the argument that was put forth was they went into the situation with a goal, and you led them on knowing what that goal was. And because they finally decided to speak on it and you denied them, they're like, oh, well, all right, well, I guess I tried. That didn't happen. I'm going to move on. And you're like, no, you stay here and be my emotional sponge.
Okay. So, yeah, if you have a notion that you're being strung along and finally you realize you're being strung along, okay, that in that situation, sure.
Yeah. And like I said, it's very nuanced because a lot of people have a lot of different experiences when it comes to that type of thing. Because not every chick is leading a dude on. Not every dude is just out to fuck him or whatever like that. It really depends on the situation and the understanding between the two people. But I'm like that is still nice to hear that somebody is making that argument, because the general consensus is, regardless of what the scenario is, if she turns you down, you are obligated to still stay her friend and listen to all of her problems and all that shit. Like, that's just your job now. You're now in that box. And I'm just like, no, if you're not obligated to be with them, why are they obligated to be friends with you? I don't get it. So that was actually really refreshing to see, because it's, like I said, it's usually the other way around. Let me see, what else did I see? I was sharing that Hillary thing everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did it to Morgan Freeman. That was funny.
Sharing that shit everywhere. Let me see. What else? There was definitely something I was Jessica Yaniv. The trans activist who launched their formal human rights complaint against Salon for declining to wax their testicles, has had their case dismissed. And she was ordered to pay them back for misconduct.
Yay!
Good.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, ha! So
how the hell did that happen?
I don't know. Well, I think I can't find the exact quote right now, but from the article it said something like the judge found the claim to be self-serving and disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, ding, ding, ding. Right on the fucking money. Because that shit is just, that was unacceptable. That whole ordeal was just fucking stupid. Let me see. Is there anything else? Some group called Free.Equal put up a promotional post that says being trans is not an illness, and they have all these fists up in the air with rainbows on them and stuff. And it backfired.
Really?
Yeah. And they got slammed by the disabled community. Because they said, oh, so being trans is not a bad thing, but having a mental illness clearly is. And they were just like, well, you see, and they put out this huge apology. Let me see. They say, hi, thanks so much for flagging this. We really appreciate your feedback and agree that we must be able to talk about trans what? Depathologization?
I don't even know. I don't even know if that's a word.
I'm like, what the fuck? While at the same time not stigmatizing disabled folks. We'd love to continue this discussion. And this trans person responded, the best way to continue this conversation is to remove the image from all your platforms, acknowledge that you made an ableist error, apologize, and then work with trans disabled folks like Kay to remove ableism from your advocacy. And I'm just like, oh, man. I love watching virtue signals crash and burn.
Real quick, thank you, Sanguine. If the dude can't just be friends, it is for the best if they just scatter to the winds. Otherwise, he will never be happy, nor will she, since most people can't flip off their emotions.
Well, that was two of the biggest deflections. Was like, if the dude stays around 90% of the time, it's because they still think that maybe you'll still give them a chance, or it's just out of obligation and it's not a real friendship. You know what I mean? So it's like it's best for both parties for them to move on. But in most of those situations, at least from what I've seen and in my experience, and this is anecdotal or whatever, they liked having you as that emotional sponge who they can come, call, and dump all of their shit on, and then just hang up and go fuck somebody else after they've gotten all that stress out by dropping it all on you. And they're like, no, I need you for that, and I don't want to lose you for that. So you need to be that. And I'm going to keep complaining about this dude I'm about to go fuck. Just like, no. But yeah, that's just my experience, at least. But go ahead. I'm done.
Oh, okay. Monkey, what do you got?
Nothing. The only thing like I said, my day was all weird. I wasn't even on Twitter today. The one thing I will say is, I was asked during my stream earlier if I'd seen what Steven Crowder had put out, and I hadn't, so I went and watched that real quick. He shows some interesting stuff. Tulsi Gabbard, she had a boost in not necessarily popularity, but viralness. What would be the term for that?
Exposure.
Exposure. That's a good one. Yeah, because of the whole Hillary Clinton thing. And oddly enough, for the first couple of days after that, in the U.S., when you searched for her, she wasn't really coming up on YouTube. If you searched anywhere else, stuff would come up about it, but not on YouTube within the U.S. Unless it was one of those, scroll way down, you can find stuff. And then a couple of days later, after the story started to die down, things have gone back to normal. And now I haven't verified any of this. I'm just going by what was on Crowder. Check it for yourselves, guys. Don't take my word for it, or his for that matter. But he is suggesting that YouTube has a way of artificially, because it's always, oh no, it's the algorithm. No, they just have a switch they flip. A toothless meth squirrel.
Yeah, methless tooth squirrel.
Yeah, I got it right. When I tried to get it backwards, I got it right. I'm dyslexic, y'all.
I think it's listed.
But it looks like they're artificially fucking with results.
Real quick.
Now, we know YouTube would never do that.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, real quick. Thank you, Sanguine. Pathologizing. Pathologizing? Okay. Is that a real word? And I know I'm the English major asking that, but this is how often I've actually
I'm pretty sure I've heard it before. I just, for some reason, my brain wasn't processing it.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanguine, for your phonetic retelling. Sorry, Monkey.
No, that's fine. And what else? So, yeah, I mean, the election coming up, Crowder's only thing is, look, I don't even support Tulsi, but this kind of thing's going on. You're talking about literally interfering with an election, trying to, hide a candidate when they should be getting the most press. And Tulsi, by the way, is suing Google right now for that very reason.
Thank you, Cryptic. Be jerks to women. Nice guys don't get to finish. Okay.
See, I don't like that thinking either.
Yeah, I don't either, but it's Cryptic.
I'm a nice guy. You just can't be a doormat. That's the difference, guys.
Right.
Being a doormat is not being a nice guy. It's being a pussy. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, that's all I had though. I didn't get into anything on the Twitter. Sorry. I was irresponsible today. I slept and bought things I needed.
Yeah. In my personal way of operating as a nice guy, I finish last, as they say. Thank you, Sanguine, again. Yep, pathologize, to characterize as a pathology or disease, to characterize a person as suffering from a disease. Aha, okay, I see. All right. Thank you for the context. Appreciate it. Thank you, Sanguine. But guys, with that, we're at the bottom of the hour, so now it's your time. If you have questions, comments, concerns, conspiracy theories, if you have song, TV show, or movie titles that Chuching can fit into for humorous effect, by all means, put them in the chat now. If you have questions for us directly, please put plenty of chat marks after those. If you have statements you'd like us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, ask your neighborhood chat person, and they will tell you. Thank you, Chat Mort, speaking of which. That's why they made the algorithm so nebulous. We can never know for sure what they're doing. That's true. You only see what they want you to see. And that's why, again, guys, it is so important that you share content outside of YouTube on other platforms of creators that you appreciate and like. Because, like Chat Mort said, like Tulsi Gabbard is suspicious of, like Steven Crowder seemingly proved, YouTube can't be relied upon to actually deliver to you the kind of content you might actually want to see. So those things that you like, you have to be the advertising for that channel, because YouTube won't be. Sean Uli, Satsu, will you friend me on Facebook?
Sure.
Okay. Irie Prostate Scribelite, have you seen episode 1 of the Watchmen HBO series? Nope, because I don't have HBO. I've read a little bit about it. What I didn't know is that the TV show continues the story from the comic book version of events, not the Watchmen movie version of events, because the TV show actually references the giant psychic squid, which I appreciate. They're not going to show it, as far as I know, maybe only in reference, but what little I've read about it so far, I don't know. It from what I'm reading, it's like it's another one of those shows that's trying to be all woke or something. I don't know though, because it's alternate history. I don't know. I'll probably end up watching it if and when it's done, like if the first season's done. I don't usually watch these things episode by episode. Like I said, I don't have access to HBO, so it'll have to be through like Hulu or something else at whatever point that it shows up on those things. Let's see. Frosted Glass. Is it okay that whenever I think about you, I trutch myself? I don't want anybody else. When I think about you, I trutch myself. Let's see, now work is tweeting me. Fun. Orpheus Talos, Lords of the Night, are you sad? No, we're not sad. Nobody's sad here. Nobody is sad here. Dangerous Spaces, Scribelight, the doctor was named John Money.
I don't get sad.
The kid was David Reamer. That's right, David Reamer and John Money. That's right. Diesel Dave says, take care of your lady first, because your friends ain't going to blow you. That depends on what kind of friends you have, I suppose. Quinn the Cultist, Scribelight, why are you marginalizing Satsu by putting him in the background? He's the supervillain who controls the giant moon base. I don't think that's being marginalized. He's the zillionaire evil genius of that setup there. So, yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Although, if you think that that's bad, you might want to take a look at the fact that Satsu is the star of his own Blade parody. Let's see.
Hey, Scribe, I got a question.
Yes.
Is he ignoring me? Oh, okay.
I said yes.
The video that you said you were working.
Can you hear me? Hello?
I think there's a delay. I think there might be a delay.
Okay.
I can hear both of you just fine.
Okay, well, I said yes, Satsu, go ahead.
Okay, well, I was asking about the video that you said that you were doing, and I think you said it was something about masculinity. Do you have, like, a link to that?
It's on my BitChute channel. I can get it to you after the stream. I mean, I tweeted it out on my Twitter feed yesterday afternoon, so you can find it there, but I'll get it to you after the show.
Okay.
Orpheus Telos, Lords of the Night, ever taken an Are You a Sociopath quiz? Not that I recall. You guys?
No.
Okay.
That seems weird.
Yeah. Pyrus Creed, two things. Did you see that Tariq Nasheed called Lauren Chen a white supremacist and brought up the Yakuza? No,
Yakuza, for fuck's sake.
Because Lauren Chen is okay. Anyway. And if that kid identified as Batman, would the court rule that the parents had to die? To the first one, no, I didn't see that Tariq Nasheed conjured the Yakuza in reference to Lauren Chen, and the Batman joke is funny. Let's see, and then chat jumped, guys, so if I missed your question, just post it again. Dangerous Spaces, Scribelight, better question, why do you assume that Satsu would descend into criminality? Kynes raises. He's a vampire hunter, killing evil. But you want to focus on the fact that I made him a Bond villain, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Whatever. Frosted Glass. Chutch me, babe. Can't you see that I am not afraid? Okay. Chutch me in the morning. Oh. Let's see. Irate Prostate. Yakuza, she's half Chinese. Yeah, I guess he'd have to conjure up the triad if he was going to be talking about her, not the Yakuza.
Don't talk to Tariq about common sense, man.
Yeah, or your ethnically specific mafia organizations. Thank you, Jordan250. I once mixed up Yakuza and Jacuzzi. Now I'm in hot water with the Japanese mafia.
Well played. Well played. Cryptic level right there.
I was about to say that. I think Jordan just stole Cryptic's thunder right there.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Cryptic, he beat you with an Asian joke?
I don't know. Is Jordan Asian?
No, I don't.
Bert and Ernie, why have you made Satsu Ringo Starr the only talentless member of the Beatles? The only reason that Satsu's head is on that body is because Satsu's avatar has a black hood on, and that is the darkest suit amongst the group. That's why. So it could kind of match. That's it.
Because every time we judge.
Because every time we judge, I feel... I don't know. Stargazer Net Scribe Light, will you read this just so I can have attention? No, I won't. Orpheus Telos, you got the crutch, dude. Or Chutch, sorry, Chutch. Crutch. You got the Chutch. You got the power. Papa Frank, Starsky, and Chutch. Oh, nice. Let's see. Dangerous Spaces. Lords of the Night. Show me on the doll where Joe Biden chuched you. Check Your Logic says, do you know who else was a Bond villain? Dr. No. Yes. And I believe I have a viewer, Twitter follower, etc. that calls himself Dr. No.
I hear he had Midas Church.
Oh, nice. Quinn the Cultist, Scribe Light, your hole keeps getting deeper. Have you no shame?
What you doing with your hole?
Yeah, you don't know anything about my hole, Quinn the Cultist. I can guarantee you that. Let's see. Dark Alile, Turner and Chutch. Well, if I pronounce it Chooch, maybe. But, okay, I'll give you half points. Joe Pesendorfer, it's my dog's birthday. Their names are Kuda and Gittix. Can you wish them a happy birthday? Is that like, if I say those two words really fast together, is there some kind of like trap of verbiage that I'm missing?
I don't know.
Not that I can see, but happy birthday, Kuda and Gittix.
Yes, Kuda Gittix, if I'm saying that correctly. Happy birthday, doggies. Hopefully you get a milk bone. If that's... unless you're, I guess, lactose intolerant or something, and then not. So, dogs these days. Gorbag goes camping. Do you want to chutch? Do you want to chutch me now? Pyrus Creed. If a train leaves Chicago traveling to Austin at 120 miles per hour, another train leaves Austin traveling to Chicago at 90 miles per hour, at one point, Monkey will make a video. He makes videos every day, guys. They're just lazy live streams, that's all.
Please kiss my ass.
Well, I mean, are you going to tell me that they're not, like, they don't require a whole lot of technical or editing, that kind of stuff? They're not very time-consuming to create, let's put it that way, save for, talking.
It's like doing, let's see, 2 hours is what, 120 minutes? That's like 12 of my videos, y'all.
All right, that's true. You get 12
All
times
at
the
once.
monkey. 12 times the monkey. Quinn the Cultist, Scribe Light, I'm out of troll juice. Do you know where I can get some more? You might want to talk to Tatiana McGrath. I'm sure Tatiana has tons of troll juice. Sean Uli, why do I think Why do I think of great questions but forget them by airtime? Because I don't know, but I would advise you get a notepad and write them down when you think of them. That way, I forget. I always think it's Ben Franklin who said something to the effect of the weakest ink is stronger than the mightiest memory, or something like that. Dangerous Spaces. Scribe Light. There is also a shallow view of relationships here. To assume a guy is only after sex rather than some sort of stronger connection. Again, it depends on the individual, depends on the dynamic. I mean, whatever else. If someone's looking for a romantic relationship with someone and that someone is not interested at all in having a romantic relationship, yeah, I mean, you could say they're shallow for then turning around and just dropping it. But if that's their only intent and there's no reason to pursue it any further, then, you just go away. I mean, I don't know. It's a waste of their time, I suppose. And I don't know how awkward it becomes after that if you try to approach it that way and you get denied. Like, well, can you just be friends after that? Some people are, some people aren't.
Yeah, and no shade to the people who do or want to be. Like, we're not saying that that's not an option.
Yeah.
If she can tell you that I'm not obligated to be with you, so I'm not. And it's like, okay, well, I didn't get into this for a friend. I got friends. It's
yeah.
like, oh, okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, no one is required to be in a relationship of any kind with anybody else, unless you're, of course, a father of a child that you're not interested in raising, and then legally you have to be regardless.
Or a gay person or a lesbian who's faced with a trans person.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. Quinn the Cultist, Scribe Light, not singing for dogs either. Are you speciest as well? We weren't asked to sing. We were asked to wish them happy birthday, which we did.
Precisely.
I mean, we were very, very literal here. We try to be as accurate as we can. I read it as it is written. Okay, thank you, Curly Joe. Mata Winter. Oh, Lords, is Scribe on live cat or top chat? Well, I'm not on a live cat. I am on live chat. So if you think I'm missing something, it's probably because chat's just jumping. So please, repost your questions or something. I'll try to get as many as I can. Richard Art, Lords, is it possible for an immigrant to become president by 35 if they came here young? No, you have to be a natural-born citizen. That's the one requirement that nixes like Arnold Schwarzenegger from becoming president. You can become governor. There's nothing, I mean, I guess it's state to state, but generally speaking, there's nothing preventing anybody who's a citizen, natural born or otherwise, from becoming a governor or high office in a state. But to become president, you must be a natural born citizen. So if you don't meet that requirement, you're ineligible. Jack Gunsky says, Scribe Light, I love you, Scribe. Did you know that I love your fickle ways? I did not know that. No. Struggling Paradox. Scribe, can you go read the comment from that first part of this stream? What? You want me to read a comment on the other portion of the stream before it died? I can't do that. Just post your question again or something. Mata Winter. Oh, Lords, why was Sassy destroying squirrel homes, making the baby squirrels start joining gangs, then start shooting the rival gangs' baby squirrels? What?
He's talking about, or they're talking about playing 7 Days last night.
Oh, I wasn't there for that.
What can I say? I'm a squirrel home destroying motherfucker.
Everybody wants to shoot a squirrel. Oh. Dr. No, Scribelight, how many siblings do you have? One that I know of. I mean, my parents could be lying to me, for all I know. But I have one sister. She is a year younger than I am. Let's see. Quinn the Cultist, Scribelight, if my right eye itches, should I cut it out? No.
No.
Cryptic, thank you. Demolition Man. Okay. Maybe I'm missing the Is that a punchline to something somebody else said? Or like, is that a quote that, is that where a quote somebody else said is from? I've seen Demolition Man a couple of times. I haven't memorized too many lines from it. Let's see. Frosted Glass. Do you prefer Citizen Kane or Touch of Evil? Well, now. Well, I mean, I like them both for different reasons. I mean, Touch of Evil is, classic noir. I guess you could. I mean, Citizen Kane isn't so much a noir, but I mean, it does kind of feel like it from time to time. I guess between the two, I'd probably say still Citizen Kane. Touch of Evil. If you can get the director's edition, because what they did, they took Touch of Evil and they re-edited it using Orson Welles' liner notes and things and some other stuff from the version that used to be out there. That's the version I have. But the fact that it's so kind of jumbled still a little bit, yeah, Citizen Kane is still just an overall perfect film. Dr. No, Scribe Light, are you passing out candy on Halloween? I never bother with it because the way that my apartment building is positioned and as far away as it is from any sort of residential area, I don't think I've ever gotten a single trick-or-treater all the years that I've lived here. So I don't even bother buying candy. So it just never happens. Let's see. Pyrus Creed. Hypothetically speaking, if it came out in modern times that Roosevelt knew about Pearl Harbor ahead of time and did let it happen, how would America react? Well, that theory has been out there for forever. I mean, I think that theory was floating out there shortly after Pearl Harbor happened. I think looking back on it, people look back on it similarly to Gulf of Tonkin or any other situation where we sort of like allowed a disaster to happen to incite us to take action. I mean, trust me, Roosevelt was no saint. If he had any notion ahead of time and did nothing, that's pretty cold. Could it be said that it was a pragmatic move to get America involved in something that it would inevitably have to get involved in anyway if its allies kept getting cut down, as it were, at the time? Speed up the process? I don't know. That's one of those things that I don't have an answer for. Backscan. If you became a supervillain, what would your power and name be? If? I mean, oh no, it's buffering again.
Brass Monkey.
I have a feeling they're not hearing us.
Wait, what was the question?
It doesn't matter. I'm buffering again, which means the whole thing's dead again.
Oh.
Yeah, you're breaking up bad.
Yeah. I'm not even getting it. Yeah, I think this is done. Okay, maybe it's back. It stopped buffering for me. Okay, we'll give it a second and see if it comes back, or are we back? Okay. Sorry guys, again, I have no idea. I think after this show, I'm just going to use StreamYards. I can't tell if it's OBS or if it's a connection to OBS to YouTube or a combination or whatever. I apologize. I wish I had some control over it, but apparently I don't. So we'll finish out the next 10 minutes or so, and then we'll move on with our lives. So sorry about that. And I missed all the questions because it's all people letting us know that we're back. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Mono Winter, oh lords, potato, corn, or bear claws? I
like a nice corny potato bear claw.
Depends on the occasion, I guess. Satsu, do you have an opinion?
Hollow out a bear claw and make a corn potato soup and put it in.
Is that going to be on your next cooking stream?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, before the stream ends, guys, I want to mention something that I was thinking about. What do you guys think about a Lords of the Night website?
For what purpose?
Just for first of all, for a place for all of our streams to go up at once, to be up and accessible at the same time in order.
Hmm.
And also it'll branch off into like other things that we're doing. So
I'm not averse to the idea. Is that something you want to set up, or I don't even know that.
I was thinking about seeing if we had anybody in our audience who's well versed in that type of stuff. We can have all of our merch stores on there, and it's just a good universal place where everybody could go to, you know.
Whoa. Well, the call has been put out, so there you go, guys. Contact us on Twitter if you have a pitch or an idea or something, and we'll talk about it. Quinn the Cultist, Scribe Light, does Ranting Monkey have a monkey's paw? I don't know.
No.
Monkey, do you have a wishing item that brings you bad luck with every wish?
I do not.
Okay. Sanguine, Scribe Light, we heard Brass Monkey. Yes, I think Monkey was singing that before we cut out.
Well, I wasn't singing it. I was saying that would be my supervillain name.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what we got cut off on. Oh, yeah. What's your supervillain name and what would your power be? Well, I'd be Scribe Light, and I would have a moon base with a death laser on it.
I'd be Brass Monkey, and I'd be able to punch your asshole out.
Whoa, that's very specific.
Hit you in the nose and make your asshole pop out.
Satsu, what would your supervillain name be, and what would your power be?
It would be Satsu, of course, and my power would be to be able to literally drain your life force with sarcasm.
Wow. Ebony Williams, Scribe Light, would you substitute cheese nips for goldfish? I have on occasion, if they were out of goldfish or the goldfish that I like. I have gotten Cheez-Its as a sort of backup substitute, but they're a bit too salty and taste and are kind of greasy, so I don't have those very often. So yeah, it's goldfish or nothing as far as like cheese flavored crackers go for me. Dangerous Spaces, Scribe Light, as someone that has only done a bit of YouTube, can you describe how you find the vids you respond to? They seem so random. Sometimes it is, it's one of those things where I'm watching a video and then there's a recommended thing from some weird fringe channel. Generally speaking, what I do is there's several keywords or key phrases that I will search into YouTube, and then I will put the search parameter of posted today or uploaded today or something, because I want to get something that, generally speaking, is brand new. There hasn't been any other commentary on it, or there's not a lot of coverage of it per se that I might have already seen somewhere, had an idea of, and also just to keep abreast of what's going on in the moment. And then, if you put in toxic masculinity into YouTube search bar and then just filter the results by what's been posted in the last 24 hours, all types of crazy stuff can show up. And, sometimes it'll be a TEDx talk, sometimes it'll be some random corporate promotion thing, or sometimes it'll be a piece from a local news broadcast. You never know. And, so I put in search terms like toxic masculinity or white privilege or diversity and inclusion and just see what comes up. And, something catches my brain, might do a video on it. Lately, I've been looking for, I look up social justice education and see what comes up. But an article that Monkey sent me, an article that another viewer sent me on recent initiatives at certain schools across the country. I'm thinking I might record myself reading some of these articles and then edit that into a video for a curriculum of fear. That's my next idea, but we'll see. And chat jumped again. Moto Winter, oh lords, would you try pomegranate souffle? Do you just take random words that are food related and just say, would you try, rutabaga pomegranate toasties or something? Whatever. I don't know. I don't think I would. Would you guys try pomegranate souffle?
Nah, son.
No.
Okay. Quinn the Coldest, Scribe Light, what famous vampire would you want to meet in real life? None. They would kill me. They would drink my blood. Cameraman J, life is not a spectrum. You are either living or you are dead. Actually, life is a spectrum of quality, from youth to elderliness and health in between. You go from being a small creature to a larger, bent over creature. Actually, life is kind of a spectrum. It really is. Sorry. Let's see. And Frosted Glass Scribe, given who you are in the Abbey Road Photoshop, are you really dead? Yes. The answer is yes. I am actually dead. I'm a tattoo that someone has preserved. And I'm talking. Pomegranate souffle. Oh, jeez. I know I missed some questions somewhere. Dr. No, Satsu, are you and Squishy taking Squeetus out trick-or-treating?
No.
I think Squeetus is a little too small to enjoy that, and I don't think Satsu and Squishy need more candy in their lives.
No.
Sean Uli, are you going to do any more of those live streams where you play a video and comment on it while it plays? I was thinking about it. I have to find something that sort of justifies it, like maybe another panel talk, something where it's relatively lengthy, that it would take a really long time to try to edit down into a video. I don't want to do those too often, though, like a special occasion kind of thing, or if something really, catches my attention. Devil Fruit Zero, Scribe Light, has the world always been this screwed up? Yes, but it has not always been this well documented globally. Let's put it that way. Ace Phoenix, would you rather be a vampire with an unquenchable thirst for blood or a zombie with your intelligence and consciousness kept intact? I'd rather be the vampire, because at least then I'd look good. And I could pass for human and not be shot in the head on sight by somebody who doesn't understand that I might still be intelligent, but I'm a rotting body, you know?
Intelligent rotting bodies.
Mm-hmm. Dangerous Spaces. So was that politician earlier saying that she was just a naked boss brushing an employee's hair? How is that better? Yeah, her whole explanation or response to that story. So first off, again, if those photos were illegally acquired or hacked or something, then the person who did that should be, prosecuted. The problem is that the photos are now out in the public sphere, so you got to deal with them. The original notion was that the woman she's photographed kissing and then brushing the hair of is the person that she both had as a staffer and was in a relationship with, which is against the ethics rules. But then she said something about naming a guy who is also a staffer. But maybe I misread the original story, but I was under the impression that she was married and it was her and her husband were having the staffer as their third in their throuple or whatever. So,
yeah, that's how it sounded to me when you first read it.
Yeah, so maybe I misread, or maybe the story was incorrect. I don't know which, but her response to it is bizarre, and how that explains her sitting bare naked, brushing the lady's hair, I don't know. Quinn the Cultist, Scribe Light, do you want to set the world on fire with my death ray? No, just like, very specific individual spots on Earth, or maybe people. Maybe, because it's a death ray. It's very precise. Ebony Williams, Scribe, how do we know you're not a vampire? Well, I guess you don't. I mean, I did come up with the name Lords of the Night for the show, and I do have a predilection for very sort of disturbing things that deal with blood and, serial killers. Maybe I am. You'll never know. Struggling Paradox, new stream lore, Scribe is dead. Well, I don't know who Scribe is, but I feel sorry for him. Let's see. Dr. No. Ranting Monkey. Does the grandchildren have Halloween costumes? I assume Littlebutt does.
I'm sure they do. I know Pumpkin does. I don't know what it is, though. I don't remember.
Oh. not a pumpkin.
No, it's not a pumpkin. I do know that.
Okay. Gulf City Peterbilt Confederacy 379. Scribe is a alt-fright sumbitch. Is that a thing? Alt-fright? Is that like a Halloween deal or something?
No, that's Scasley.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, this is me.
The alt-right, yeah.
All right, okay. Jordan 250. Anyone mention the band 1,000 Foot Kutch? No? Is their real name Touch? I don't know. And Cracked says, at least it wasn't a goat thruple. Har, har, har. At least it wasn't. Yeah, there are no animals involved that we know of. Okay, Stefan says, Scribelight, she was in a relationship with her husband and a female campaign worker. She told them she wanted to focus on work, but started seeing a male staffer in D.C. Okay. Well, that's the latest version. I don't know if that's correct. Stefan, if that's the current iteration of it, then we'll take that until we hear otherwise. But guys, we're at the top of the hour, and thus the end of the show. The bifurcated show. I apologize for that again, but technical difficulties, live TV, etc. But thank you guys so much for sticking with us through the difficulties. It just goes to show your guys' loyalty, and I do really appreciate that. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though our audience is the best behaved audience in the whole of the internet. Everybody who donated, thank you so much for your support and your generosity. As I say, I don't have the words to tell you how much I appreciate it, all of us here. So thank you so much. Remember, guys, over on 2 cents. Wait, you guys aren't doing that tonight, right?
Nope.
Not tonight.
That's right. Okay, sorry. My apologies. No gaming stream over in 2 cents plus tonight. Apologies for that. But tomorrow night, per usual, we'll be on Monkey's channel at the regular time. I think that's all the exciting stuff. Anything else, guys, before we go?
Nope.
There you go.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us. Monkey, Satsu, thank you for joining me as always.
Yeah, whatever.
Indeed.
Everyone, your lives make us sad. We will trutch you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Speaking of intimate trutching, I've got my copy of Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns, the romance and sexual sorcery of sadomasochism. Flipping to Ye Random Page, and sure, that's a good word for the events of tonight's multiple problematic streaming. Today's secret word is discomfort.
Ooh.
I know, it's a bit too on the nose.
Feel a little pressure.
Yeah, just a bit.